This is sports stuff. Betting stuff.
Ciao.
Ka-chow, ka-chow, ka-chow. Merry Christmas, happy holidays,
You say happy dog? Happy
happy
dog.
happy
I'm
dog
a
days.
happy dog. I'm a happy.
Happy. Any new dogs in the Thompson household, Jim?
No, thank Jesus.
Santa did not bring any puppies.
No,
No
not at all.
puppies? No animals?
No.
Okay. If there were to be another animal in the house, any thoughts on what it could be?
It depends on who you speak to.
Okay.
Like Joe told me flat out, like no more dogs. But I would definitely get another bulldog. Can never have too many. I think Lucy would go ape shit, so probably not another dog. Zadie would probably have a cat. Tessa would probably be down with a big hellhound of some sort. Um, Joe would have no more pets.
Aside from like fish or something simple.
Yeah, because ultimately she's the one who takes care of it.
There.
Got it. Bulldogs aren't like beta fish, are they? If you have two, they're going to fight each other all the time.
This one will.
Okay.
Not, I don't think it's a standard bulldog trait. It's just a Lucy trait.
Yeah, Lucy's very territorial.
All right. This is Sports Stuff Betting Stuff, the number one sports betting podcast coming out of the sports stuff with
You
Jim
good,
of
Muff?
Enterprise. I am.
All
I'm
right.
good. Haven't had any eggnog. Haven't had any alcoholic drinks,
All right.
Sounds like
either
some.
on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas as we're recording.
He did not add Christmas Eve in on that.
I did. Had some beverages on Christmas Eve. Um, Alex, go.
I'm Alex.
Did well, I thought you made a comment.
I'm
No,
Alex.
I said bevies.
Oh, bevies. Yeah. I'm your host, the original degenerate, Muff. Hello. Hello, folks.
Hi, Muff.
Joined alongside the Ohio Homer, the Ohio degenerate, and the cap of the Midwest Crack House, Jim.
Hello, friends. I gotta tell you, as you bring up the Midwest Crack House, Tessa got two Kraken hoodies, and she is ecstatic that she got her Kraken hoodies for hockey season. So, and she looks cute as hell in them. So, I am not alone in the Kraken fandom here in Columbus. I now have recruited other member,
Like a redhead crack house now.
the Redhead Crack House. Yeah,
I like that.
Is now two different hoodies, different colors, different designs,
different colors,
styles.
different designs. I would say styles, but I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself, and not only with the oldest who will beat me up with the fashion sense, but I think there's a hockey type designs. Like there's a name for these types of hoodies that I don't feel like getting in trouble with hockey fans. So we're just gonna say two different
Like
designs.
a
Like
sweater
the ones that
hoodie.
have the um
Yeah. What you're doing there, Alex?
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sweater
Yep.
hoodie. I'll call it a sweater
I was gonna
hoodie.
say like a hockey
Yeah.
sweater.
Yeah. There you go.
We'll go
They're
with that.
cute.
We're gonna call it a sweater hoodie, and your oldest can come after all of us
There you
if
go.
there's concern.
There you go.
Much like your wife coming in
Hmm.
hot. More to
Oh
come on
yeah.
that. More to come on that on Sundays. Well, Monday's episode recorded on Sunday. We have a new fantasy football champion, and there was much to be said.
A much to do.
I'm gonna say to do. I mean, it could be a to do in your household. That's okay, but it was a much said.
Yeah.
Um, and last, certainly not least, the medical degenerate and the other half of the original degenerate crew, Alex.
That's me.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
That is the crew. That is the degenerates, and we are winding down our football betting as we get into the
So
last
sad.
week of the NFL season and the most plentiful week of bowl action to come.
Really,
But
where I lose all my money.
uh, hopefully not. Hopefully you win some money here. Before we get into that, let's make sure that we introduce everybody to our totems, our tokens, our items of good luck, which have led all of us now to winning records for the season. Let us start with Jim.
I have the Ohio State hat from with the Ohio State flag on the bottom. It's treated me well. It's getting a little cold. It's getting a little cold. but I think it's going to return me to glory.
So, speaking of returning to glory, somebody in this podcast has clawed their way back from under 500 to now over 500. Alex's item of good luck that has led him to this point is
I'm going to stick with the O Fudge Cup because it definitely worked for me last week. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
bingo. And something that has not been broke for me all year is my WVU conductor's cap, courtesy of Topper Thrift, where I will be taking some other things in the new year to be thrifted to the wonderful West Liberty University community and the community at large. Thank you, Topper Thrift, for giving me this hat, which has led me to the best record to this point in the season.
I don't know
As a
if you're going
reminder,
to be catchable.
say it again.
You're like, really? I mean, you're not, I guess, technically
I'm not
not.
uncatchable, believe me.
Yeah, that's true. If you go down, you would have to lose pretty hard. And I would, or me or Jim would have to win pretty hard.
Correct. There would have to be
But
some great runs,
yeah,
good runs, and some good bad runs
yeah,
to make this
exactly.
go down. But crazier things have happened in the betting
So
world.
you're saying there's a chance.
There is technically a chance.
Lloyd Christmas, there is a chance. There is a chance.
I'm here for it.
Uh, as always, our exclusive betting app without Richie here this week. I think we can go all in on this. FanDuel.
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 FanDuel. I think Richie made it through the holidays as far as I'm concerned. He's still with FanDuel,
Does the
so
job. We didn't
he,
do anything bad.
we have not had any negative influence on his life, his betting, or his employment. So uh, thank the good Lord. I think that means they're not listening, but in this case, I'm okay with that.
I feel like it just shows you that you should be a guest because we don't negatively influence.
I mean, sure.
Your employment. I mean, maybe your life, potentially your bank account, but not your employment.
Yeah. What Muff said.
We'll go with that. All right, let's get into last week's recap before we talk about this week's NFL and college football slate. Starting with the winner of last week, creeping back above 500, Alex.
That's me. So last week I had a good week. I started off rough. I lost the Broncos plus 2.5 at the Chargers, and I was getting a little nervous. But then I had some victories in the Clemson, Texas over 51.5, the Bengals minus 7.5 versus the Browns. I took an L, uh, the Eagles minus 3.5 at the Commanders, and then wrapped it up with two wins with the Lions minus 6.5 at the Bears and the Rams minus 3 at the Jets. That brought my overall record to 55 and 52 and a 514 winning percentage.
Alex's best for the week. Next, solely on percentages, was me. I went 4-5 for the week, bringing my overall record to 63 and 50 for a 558 winning percentage. Up and down week, all the way up and down throughout the entire week. I started off with two wins. I took Notre Dame and Penn State to cover in college football playoff first round action. And then I also had the Texans in Saturday football, plus 3.5 after the Chiefs. Not a winner. I had Tennessee plus the points at Ohio State. That was a loss. Then I had the Bengals in the NFL covering 7.5. Hosting the Browns was a win. I lost my next two as the Eagles did not cover 3.5 at the Commanders. What an absolute dumpster fire
Yeah,
once
I was
Jalen
gonna
Hurts
say.
went down. Ugh, that was bad, bad, bad. Kenny Pickett in Philadelphia now knows the Kenny Pickett situation, hate, and how that goes down.
Loathed entirely. But
I had the Lions Bears over 47.5, which was a loss. I'm not sure. Bears just sucked it up real bad. I had the Patriots and Bills over 46.5, which was a win. And then I ended in the college football world as I took San Jose State to cover 4.5, taking on South Florida. Um, I think South Florida won that game outright, and I said that I was going to take them no matter what, but I wish I would have done a little bit more research to know that Nick Nash was not playing, even though I said I didn't care either way. But I also found out that I think their quarterback wasn't playing too. So screwed myself on that one. Again, 4-5 for the week, 63 and 50 overall, 558 winning percentage. Next we have Jim.
Yeah, I lost the Broncos plus 2.5 at the Chargers. I lost the Texans, uh, just like Tank Dell. It was
Yeah.
painful. Uh, Texans plus 3.5 at the Chiefs. Lost that one. Hit that Rams -3 at the Jets. Hit the Lions -6.5 at the Bears. Um, then my two spike picks in the playoffs. Uh, Indiana plus 7.5. They could have given me what, another 14, or they could have given me another touchdown and I would have lost. But and then SMU, good grief, needed more points in there. And then UTSA rolled Coastal and gave me that W.
The neat neats.
So 3-4, 64 and 61, overall winning percentage of 512.
Right. Which means that after last week, Alex has just barely overtaken Jim for second place, but we are all above 500. And
We are.
that
Let's
is
focus
what's
on positive
important.
here.
We can all end above 500. It is a good year, guys.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Next into our specialty picks, starting with the Mike All Stott Hit Stick Pick of the Week.
Pow, pow, pow.
It was a loss, bringing it to 9-8. We had the light choosing between the Texans plus 3.5 and what was the other game? Was it the Broncos?
Yeah,
Yeah.
would have
So
lost
it
either
would
way.
have lost either
We're
way.
taking it now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, 9-8 for the hit stick pick. And the Midwest Mobster risky pick of the week.
Get out of here.
We took the Broncos money line, aforementioned Broncos at the Chargers, and that was also a loss in Thursday Night Football, bringing the risky pick to 7-10 for the season.
Yeah.
Moving from that last year, I think.
I'll have to look to make those comparisons from last year to this year.
No, last year was a good year. The risky pick did well last year.
Take a look back there. And the sell the nutting team Bob parlay,
Ugh.
it was a loss. We had the Texans as the hit stick pick. I think Richie took the Eagles. Jim took the Lions, Bears over. Or is that right?
I don't think so.
I
I
think
know
I
that
took
I
the
had the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh, I took the Rams, I think. Then.
I don't.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't.
I'll, I'll arm
I
the
honestly
over.
don't remember.
I really don't feel because over wasn't on my best bet, so I wouldn't have taken it.
I'll hammer the over, but it wasn't on my best bets either.
Then it's probably mine. I honestly didn't remember what order we were in last
I kind of
week.
thought I took the Bengals, if I'm being
Okay,
honest.
and I definitely didn't take the Rams, so it had to be the Lions, Bears over for me. Um, yeah, Jim took the Rams to cover. Browns, Bengals. Alex took my 7.5. We won two of the five picks, bring it to 1-14 for the season. We've really only got one large week left, and then we'll
Then
have
we got
to
then it gets crazy.
then we got to start really being selective. Good news is we'll have an extra week of college games to include in that this
Hmm.
year, which is nice. All right, that brings us into this week's game, starting in the NFL.
Hold on, freeze. I gotta have some clarification.
Yes,
First, the person who does the notes, by the way, thank you, whoever did them and has done them. We all know I don't contribute to that. However, when was the spreads updated? Because this is a lot of games, and I just need to know.
today, this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Second of all, because I'm half silly, the NFL games are Saturday, Sunday, Monday, as in the next Saturday, Sunday, Monday, correct?
As
Yes,
in,
like as in a few days.
as in 2 days
Okay.
from now, Saturday, 3 days from now, Sunday, 4 days from now,
And the
Monday.
same can be said for college, correct?
Yes,
So on Saturday, we have college and NFL games at the same day.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's a lot of football. All right. All right. So, Muff, if I get yelled at for not having them in the right damn order, I'm sorry.
A lot more to
I'm
keep
tr
track of.
I'm trying. Okay.
A lot more to keep track of this week. Just remember, if it's Saturday, just make sure the Saturday games are lumped together, and
I'm
then we
doing the
can,
best I can.
and then we can figure out everything from there.
I'm trying, bud. I'm trying.
All right. Real quick, we have some games that are not in the slate because we picked some games through text message to include prior to Christmas. We just said, hey, if you want to pick anything on Christmas Day or on Thursday, the day that we're recording, toss them in there. So we already have some wins and losses
Yeah, you have
for the
wins,
week.
I have losses.
Alex and I both took Baltimore to cover on Christmas Day, which was a win. Uh, Jim earlier in the day on Thursday took Pitt to cover 7.5 versus Toledo. That was a loss. And
In
Jim
overtime,
and five.
5
46,
overtimes.
46, 48. Pitt. What the fudge?
Well, 40, like, let's clarify first.
Toledo won.
48, 46, Toledo, Pitt, what the fudge?
That's what I mean.
I know what you meant, but it sounded like you're saying Pitt won a little bit.
You're putting the comma in the wrong place there, I think.
I'm so big mad.
I watched most of this game, Jim, and Toledo came back to send this one into overtime.
I was
They
not.
suck so bad.
I
It
was very
was,
happy.
I will say, I don't know if you had any information that changed from when you stated this, but Pitt's starting quarterback earlier in the week was questionable, ended up not playing, so they had a redshirt freshman and a freshman playing at quarterback. But that didn't really it negatively impacted them in the latter parts of the second half. As one of the true freshmen threw a pick six, which helped get Toledo back into it. But overall, he also kept them in the game. So it was yeah, it didn't work out for you. It was trending in your direction, and then Toledo said no, 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 no.
Should have known better. It was on me.
So Jim also has in Thursday night NFL football, the Seahawks cover 3.5 at the Bears. You got a live look in on that game.
I'm working on that right now as you were going. But it's on the Amazon, so they try to keep stuff quiet.
It is Seahawks 3-0 start of the second quarter.
Hey,
So Jim took Seahawks minus 3.5 at the Bears.
Oh, Bears.
So that's where we are at this point, which brings us into Saturday NFL slate, starting with the Chargers at the Patriots. Chargers favored by 4.5, over under 43.5 points.
I'm taking the Chargers in that one. Jimmy Harbaugh doesn't lose to shitty teams, it appears. So give me the Chargers.
Uh, I was when I was looking these up initially and putting them in here, that was a game that was on my radar, and then I remembered the Chargers traveling all the way across the country into not cold because it's going to warm up a little bit this weekend, but colder weather, and Drake May and the Patriots just stuck around last week with the Bills. So I'm just not as confident as you are. I think the Chargers win, but this could be a field goal game to me.
I appreciate your I this is one I'm probably the most confident on out of all the games we have to play.
Hmm.
I think this is what gets Jimbo in the playoffs, gets him feeling right. He doesn't lose to shitty teams.
I don't think it's a bad take, Jim.
No, I listen. I think the Chargers win. I just 4.5, just enough away from that field goal to get me a little hesitant.
Hmm.
Other Saturday football, we have the Broncos at the Bengals. Bengals still playing for very, very slim playoff chances. Bengals favored by 3, over under 49.5.
Stand away.
I was toying with the over
Mm,
because, as we know, the Bengals defense has done jack shit all year.
hmm.
Joe Burrow, very quietly, Joe Burrow has, I think, better passing statistics than anyone in the league.
Yeah.
Has more touchdown passes, has more completions. Like all of the key statistics, Joe Burrow is above Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. If
That's
only the
their
Bengals were not performing poorly this year.
Well, that's what they said. If for somehow he claws his way into the playoffs, they're like, is he the player of the year? Like, yeah, you can make the argument.
Definitely, definitely an argument to be had there. I, like Jim, am going to stay away from this. I like to think the Bengals have the edge, but uh, who knows? Who knows with the way the Broncos are playing? I don't think the Broncos have played well against great teams. I just don't know if we can put the Bengals into the category of a great team.
I think
Yeah,
the Broncos played at a level of their competition.
Fair enough.
and it's in Nasty Natty. I'm just no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Alex, thoughts?
No, I'm gonna stay away.
All right, next we have the Cardinals at the Rams. The Rams favored by 6.5, over under 47.5.
I,
Oh,
I'm interested in the Rams here, but
That
this
spread's high for me. I
this
don't know
is
why.
this is going on the maybe slate. I said this is the Cardinals. I have to keep putting in my mind the Cardinals have continued to play like dog poo. The Rams are trending upward. The Rams are a team that people, the pundits, are saying are one of those teams that could surprise people in the playoffs. I'm going to consider this 6.5, right? I think I put 5.5.
It's
That's a
sketchy to
maybe.
me.
That's a maybe. Any other thoughts, Alex?
no, I'm with you. I'm leaning that way, but we'll see.
Yeah. And Sunday football, we have the Cowboys at the Eagles. Eagles favored by 6.5, over to
The
39 and a
Eagles,
half. The Eagles going out Giant Eagle. Get some Iron
right?
City. Uh, I did not do any recon on the injury status, but the fact that this line is 39 and a half leads me to believe that we don't know who's playing quarterback right now.
Yeah, yeah. If obviously if I knew Jalen Hurts was playing, and you left me this at 6.5, I'd be comfortable.
Would be. Kenny Pickett, I think, is even questionable with a rib injury.
Ooh,
So if Jalen Hurts doesn't play, Kenny Pickett may be banged up.
Well, yeah, and I was talking to like one of the docs at work is an Eagles fan, and he was talking about how they're considering like even Kenny Pickett versus their backup because like Kenny Pickett, if he is hurt and they go past that point, and then Jalen Hurts is out for longer, then you're going to the playoffs with you know what I mean versus letting at least Kenny Pickett get better.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this for all of those unknowns.
yeah.
Um, if I knew it was between QB 2 and 3, I'd probably take the Cowboys plus the points. Like if Jalen Hurts was out, I'm sure this line would switch up a little bit. I bet it would be like 2.5 or 3. Um, so I feel like it would be a significant shift. So I think Vegas is somewhat confident that Jalen Hurts is going to play,
Yeah,
but not going anywhere near it. Colts at the Giants. Colts favored by 7.5, over under 40.5. Anthony Richardson expected to play, but still on the injury report. Does that matter? Like, should we just not even care who's in at quarterback?
I mean, I'm not
Flacco.
watching this shit.
I'm just saying from a betting perspective.
Giants pretty bad.
Giants are epically bad. I'm actually gonna put this on here as a maybe.
It's not insane.
Got two maybes on here right now. Like even if it's Joe Flacco, I feel good about it, right?
Oh yeah,
All right, other thoughts on that game?
I wish it was a point lower.
I think this is one of those like the Colts are gonna win, the Colts are gonna win by like 10 plus. Next we got the Raiders at the Saints. Raiders favored by 1.5, over to 37.5. Speaking of games we don't care about watching,
Yeah,
that's another one. And I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't want to talk myself into anything.
fair enough.
that sounds good.
Jets at the Bills. Bills favored by 8.5, over to 46.5. Now that the Chiefs have locked up the number one seed, uh, I think the Bills have the 2 seed locked up.
Pretty sure, yeah. But do they take their foot off the gas a little?
I mean, at this point, if they have the 2 seed locked up, they're only worried about Josh Allen's MVP.
Yep,
That's the only thing they have to play for at this point. So, for that reason, I'm going to stay away because from all accounts, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, all still playing.
I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah. Titans at Jags. Jags hurt by 1.5, over to 39.5. Another dumpster
not a
fire of a
lot of
game.
great NFL games this week.
No.
If
These
I
are,
was gonna pick, I'd pick the Titans.
you'd pick Mason Rudolph over, is Mac Jones starting or is Trevor Lawrence starting?
I think the Jags and notoriously will do what they got to do to tank themselves and try to get picks.
Wrong. Thoughts, Alex?
No, it's not a fun
Yeah,
game.
same. Panthers at Bucks. Bucks favored by 8.5 over to 48.5.
If the Panthers hadn't been kind of scary lately as far as like doing weird stuff, I would be really strong on the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not necessarily going to be strong on the Bucks, but I'm going to consider this over.
There, especially if they're trying to get Mike Evans the
Yeah,
rock.
trying to get Mike Evans some contract rewards. The Bucks haven't been playing superb defensively. Panthers just do enough. I think this could be one of those like 28 or 35 to 21 scores. So I'm gonna consider the over there. I have a lot of maybes in here.
Yeah,
The card is maybe heavy right now.
I'm with you on
Um,
that.
yeah, Dolphins at the Browns. Dolphins favored by 6.5 over under 39.5. Again, it's at Cleveland, but not cold this weekend. Uh, I'm gonna stay away.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, the Browns are definitely bad. Dolphins uncertain. There's always potential there for them to have a really good game, but not enough for me to put my money on it.
I'm leaning on the Dolphins a little bit.
I wouldn't really fault you for it. It's just a little too risky for me at this point.
Yeah. Dolphins not playing for anything. Browns not playing for anything. DTR in, I'm assuming for the Browns.
Yeah, and
Um,
everything I know.
yeah, who knows? Might see Jameis again. Who knows? Next we have the Packers at the Vikings. Packers favored by 1.5 over under 48.5
This is our first good game of the season of the. No, I'm just kidding,
of
but
the season.
not. I didn't mean to say season, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
yeah.
gonna be a good game to watch. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other.
I'm doing a quick recon here into the playoff picture. Um, Vikings still obviously playing if because the Vikings and the Lions play in week 18. So the Vikings are still in the hunt for all of this. The Packers, same division. So the Packers are they've already locked up a playoff spot. It seems yeah, I don't know. I think the Packers are pretty much locked in at the sixth spot at the moment. Um, no, the Commanders are right there. So both these teams are still playing for something. I'm gonna stay away. I would
Yeah, they're
lean
both
the
having good years. I don't know. I think it'll be a good game. I hope.
Yeah, I would lean the over if anything here. Thoughts, Jim?
I would take the Packers if I had to.
Falcons at Commanders.
Oh,
Bum.
Commanders favored by 4.5 over under 47.5. Both of these teams still playing for something. You heard that right. The Falcons at have improved to 8-7, still playing as they are first in the NFC South, holding the tiebreaker over the Bucks.
wild. Mm, I don't know.
Commander,
Commanders are. I probably would lean Commanders here out of the two.
I would lean the Commanders as well. Michael Penix did not do anything to help the Falcons last week. Um, so I'm gonna stay away from this one. Very interested though. This is the rookie matchup we didn't expect that we were gonna have with playoff implications on the line in week 17.
It's a good way to put it.
And lastly, in Monday Night Football, Lions at the 49ers. Lions favored by 3.5. Over under 50.5 points.
I am taking the Lions.
Yeah, me too.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna take the over no matter what. I'm gonna
Did that
flirt.
before.
No, I'm also gonna flirt with the lines to cover.
Sure, I'm on the wagon, Muff.
Well, here's the thing: is I don't want to like get on the wagon at the wrong time. But as we said, Lions still, I mean, realistically, the Lions could lose and then win next week and still win the division. So a lot to play for.
I would say that they're playing for something, but I feel like Dan Campbell's teams are those teams, like one of those teams that will always be like, like I don't see him taking his foot off the gas much. I mean, like, yeah, we don't need this win ever.
Did you all see who the Lions signed? Teddy Bridgewater, straight off of a
Yeah, I did see
state
that.
championship in high school football, coaching. Teddy Bridgewater joins the Lions.
Sure.
It's like good for him.
Hey, got that state championship, and then he gets a 4 or 5 week contract. Good for him.
Yep, got it
Uh,
flying.
yep. So it's probably all guaranteed because he's a vet.
Yeah,
So whatever he signed, he's probably all guaranteed. Um,
he may never
but
step foot on the field, but
he's in there. He's in there to help the scout team. Be in the QB room, give his thoughts. But all right, that wraps up the NFL. Brings us into college football, starting with all sorts of bowl game action on Friday. We start with Oklahoma versus Navy. Oklahoma minus 2.5, over under 43.5.
I
I'm
will not.
staying away.
Yeah, I'm not betting this because every time I try to bet Army or Navy, I get burnt. So I don't think I want a single bet involving them.
Well, ain't like Navy can opt the fuck out.
Yeah, that's true.
And Oklahoma, I mean, who knows what's going to show up there? So,
All
no
right.
thanks.
This is the, have any of us been paying attention to the opt-out situation?
I I
Jim's the
think
only one.
I think Oklahoma could have that opt-out situation. Like, and that's where I'm like, if they're like, if you real talk, a big school like Oklahoma or USC or any of those bigger schools not in the playoff could hit you with a midweek, I'm opting out scenario. And no, I'm not throwing my money on that, especially in a best bet scenario with you two where like we're trying to compete against each other and make money. So like no, I'm gonna stay away.
I'm staying away as well. Georgia Tech against Vanderbilt. Georgia Tech minus 2.5, over to 51.5. Georgia Tech and Bowles, Jim. Does that mean anything to you?
I don't like Georgia Tech bets anyway. They're favored against Vandy, which makes you go, wait a minute. Like these are the giant killers. Something we're not. There's something we don't know if we're not researching this. Like
Yeah, I get nervous on all these
It,
bowl games when they give me that feeling of there's something we don't know. Because yes,
is Diego Pavia playing?
I again, like I don't know because I haven't done the research. But if Georgia Tech's favored going into this, my spidey sense says I'm not putting money on this,
I'm staying away.
especially because it's Georgia Tech.
Yeah, staying away as well. Texas Tech versus Arkansas. Arkansas favored by 1.5, over to 51.5.
Now here's one that like I'm flirting with this one
Think there's a lot of opt-outs in this game if I were to put my finger on it.
from each side or
Yes, I'm saying from all sides.
and see in that scenario I go Arkansas. I like you. You guys tend to be built different, especially against Texas Tech, who Alex, forgive me, but like aren't they the weak link here in the Big 12
not necessarily the weak link, but
between them and Oklahoma State, right?
they were pretty no, I mean they weren't that bad.
They're bottom third.
They were up and down, yeah, but they were yeah.
I mean, because Kansas State right now, as we're talking about, is in a dogfight against Rutgers. So is Texas Tech better than Kansas State? Or is Texas Tech better than Kansas State?
No.
I think I'm going to take Arkansas on this one.
I think you're doing a lot of comparing we don't know on any
That's
scenario.
all we got left. If the
But
opt-out
what are you going to
scenario,
but you're eye testing with players that may not have been on the team and playing most of the season.
I'm going with the heart of the team, like the overall team. If they got nobody and Arkansas's got nobody, I'm gonna go, well, what team's gonna win with what they got left?
Right.
So I am leaning Arkansas against Texas Tech.
Syracuse versus Washington State. Syracuse favored by 17 and a half, over under 59 and a half. This is the highest total we've had thus far in bowl season.
Soft lean, soft lean, Syracuse.
I have a soft lean on the over.
Oh, I don't know, Muff.
Listen, the odds are probably the exact same as the soft lean on the Syracuse to cover. Minus
I don't know.
110.
Yeah.
I've
So,
got none of the above.
yeah.
All right.
Texas A&M versus USC. A&M favored by 3.5, over under 51 and a half.
USC's getting pillaged. They're opting out left and right. Their stars are going bye-bye.
Yeah, I
Texas.
was kind of thinking that in considering the A&M pick, but
I'm taking Texas A&M minus 3.5.
I'm going to do it with you. All right. Next, in Saturday bowl game action, we have UConn taking on North Carolina. North Carolina favored by 2.5, over under 52 and a half.
Sans been Bill Belichick.
He's not
Uh,
starting until next year.
Yeah, straight up ahead.
I mean, they got to be playing for Bill Belichick, right? And it's UConn. I'm staying away, but like that would be the theory, the
UConn had a
narrative.
better season than they have. I mean, they're in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think North Carolina has had some opt-outs. So
Yeah, I'm sure
whoever's
they got people in the portal.
whoever's left, I think, is playing for a spot on their roster. So, but I think this is just too much of a crapshoot for me. Staying away. Boston College versus Nebraska. Nebraska favored by 3.5, over to 45 and a half.
You know how bad I want to bet on Boston College, but they kind of tailed off at the end. So I'm staying
Yeah,
away. I'll watch this game. That'll be fun to
Nebraska
watch.
tailed off too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be fun to watch.
I'm gonna stay away. Stay away from this one. Louisiana, the Ragin' Cagans taking on TCU. TCU favored by 11 and a half, over under 58 and a half.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to say confidently TCU covers that. I think TCU wins this game, but 11 and a half is a lot. So
Yeah, I'm staying away as well. Iowa State versus Miami, Florida. Miami favored by 3.5, over under 55 and a half.
I'm hammering Miami, Florida.
I don't know. I'm staying away. 'Cause I'm not going to bet against Iowa State here, but I don't fault you for your Miami take. I think
Cam
that'll be
Ward
where
is
a lot of the money
playing.
is.
Cam Ward is playing.
It's really got no reason not to at this point.
Hammer.
But that one is a maybe.
What's the over under? 55. I'd almost look at the over too.
Oh, I don't know. Iowa State's always never know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
When did the Big 12? Okay, whatever.
When did they not get into big score?
Iowa State, not that Big 12 team, Jim.
Okay.
Iowa State is like the one team in the Big 12 that has not been part of that trend for the most part
All right.
over the years. Next, we have Miami, Ohio, taking on Colorado State.
Will be fun to watch. I will stay away.
Miami minus 2.5, over to 40 and a half. Also staying away. Alex,
Um, yeah, staying away.
uh, what were
I,
you thinking?
well, Colorado State, I've bet on several times in the past couple years, and they do me well, but I don't know enough about Miami, Ohio.
So every time Colorado State plays Colorado?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. East Carolina taking on NC State. Wolfpack favored by 6.5, over under 58 and a half. In-state rivalry and bowl season.
Don't really care.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do here. I'm staying away. Alex,
No, I don't have any interest. I would probably lean NC State, but bowl season is
next.
so hard.
Speaking of bowl season, BYU taking on Colorado. Colorado favored by 3.5 over and 54.5. Had a lot of chatter post Heisman about Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I don't really care about the chatter. The bigger news is Dion's got all of his players uh insurance for this bowl game. I think every one of his players, a lot of his players, I shouldn't say everyone, a lot of his players are playing in this game. Don't know if I could say the same about BYU. I guess God may make them play. I'm not sure, but give me Colorado.
I'm on that as well, Jim.
I'm on BYU.
Oh, surprise. Shocking that Alex is betting against Colorado.
If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out strong to my guns.
You remember, Dion's still supposed to be there next year, Alex.
But
Dion's going to be in Colorado next year.
You
that's
still have
fine.
you still have time to bet against him next year. You don't have to just do it
Oh
because.
nope, I want to end this season. I want to end this season making sure loyal listeners know how I feel.
Okay, fair enough. It's true to your word. Last game on Saturday, we have Louisiana Tech taking on Army. Army favored by 17.5 over under 43.5. Army going to be without their primary running back who did enter the transfer portal.
How do you do that?
We talked about this last week, Jim. They do not they sign like annual contracts in their freshman sophomore year. Prior to their junior year starting, they sign a 2-year contract, which puts the rest of their career kind of ahead of them, which does tie them to postgraduate service. So until you sign that contract going into your junior year, their running back is currently a sophomore. They can not re-up, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Okay, well,
So
I don't want
staying
anything to do with
staying
it.
away. Alex.
Yeah, no, staying away from this
All right.
again. Not doing well with the service academies.
Next, we have a standalone game in Monday bowl action. Iowa versus Missouri. Missouri favored by 2.5 over under 40.5.
I like Iowa here, and that's coming from me, who's usually a Missouri stan.
Not what I wanted you to do.
Well,
Not what I wanted you to do. Are you betting it?
I am probably.
Damn it. All right.
I'm gonna stay away.
I'm leaning. I don't know which way I'm leaning, but I'm leaning.
He wants to be involved, but he's not sure how.
Doesn't
I
have
was gonna hit Missouri, hoping that you would hit Missouri, but now I feel some type of way.
Sorry.
Sorry. Next, in New Year's Eve football, we start the day off with Bama taking on Michigan. Alabama favored by 12.5 over under 43.5.
Honestly, I don't think Bama would be a bad play here.
Oh.
Yeah, I agree. Michigan has already had some players opting out. I know Bama's has some players in the transfer portal, but I think more of the Bama core is staying.
Well, and I think the Bama core of just people is better than Michigan. So I think if Michigan opts out a couple big players, and you look Bama here to.
Then bet it, boys.
Well, I just said that that's where I would be going if I was going to bet on it, Jim, but I am not.
You
So
seem pretty confident. Bet on it.
I haven't decided yet.
why are you trying to bait us into this, Jim?
You guys are very confident. You seem like you know. Bet on it.
So what information do you have otherwise, Jim?
I'm just saying bet on it.
So are you withholding information from the group?
Not one bit.
Okay. I mean, you can go the other way if you'd like, Jim.
I don't feel as confident as you do.
I think that he wants Michigan to win this game
He does.
because he wants to be like, see,
I don't know what we're seeing, but fair enough. Louisville taking on Washington. Louisville minus 2.5 over to 49.5.
I have a hard time with this one.
I would lead Louisville.
I would not.
How confidently are you leaning the other way, Jim? Because you should take it.
Not very. That's why I said a hard time when I started. I have a hard time. I Louisville should, but for some reason I'm like, ugh. I think you guys are wrong on the Bama bet. I really do. I think giving Michigan 12 and a half points, and maybe it's PTSD, but
I think
like
it is.
I know there's several Bama linemen and on both sides of the ball that have entered the portal
Oh, so Jim was withholding information, Alex.
that like
Does seem appear that way.
It
And he
does
started feeling
seem.
guilty.
Yeah. Look at that.
I just don't
He
think that's
lied.
I did.
Now he's coming clean.
You're right.
Felt guilty about it.
I just don't think that's too many points to give Michigan.
All right. South Carolina taking on Illinois. South Carolina favored by 9.5, over under 47.5.
Give me South Carolina.
Hey, I'm gonna lean that way. I'm probably gonna end up staying away though.
I
So
think they've been quiet during this whole playoff talk. Their fan base has been quiet. Their coaching staff has been quiet, and I think they're going to take the head off of Illinois.
definitely something that could happen in this one. South Carolina, one of the hotter teams in the country at the end of the regular season. Um, we're on the outside of the should they have got in talk in the SEC. So I think they definitely do have something to play for in boosting their promise going into next season.
Hmm.
I don't disagree with any of that. Next, Baylor LSU. Baylor favored by 1.5, over under 59.5. Another high line.
I don't understand Baylor being favored unless a bunch of people are leaving from
That's what I
LSU.
was gonna say,
But
to be
LSU's
honest.
been racking up in the portal and the recruiting. So like that also makes me go, well, maybe Kelly's cutting and running a bunch of guys off. But like they've done well in the portal.
Oh, who do we have here opting out? Uh, LSU football, Texas Bowl versus Baylor opt-outs. Left tackle Will Campbell going to the draft. LSU players who are entering the transfer portal. Safety, linebacker, cornerback, backup quarterback, wide receiver, kicker, wide receiver, safety. A lot of players.
Hey,
A lot of players.
well,
So I think
that
that's
answers that.
that's why we're getting that line. So I'm gonna stay away for all of the unknowns there.
That answers that.
And in the last game of New Year's Eve football, the nightcap, the Fiesta Bowl, the quarterfinals of the college football playoff, Penn State taking on Boise State. Penn State minus 10.5, over under 52.5. Inject all of this into my veins, boys. Give me the Nittany Lions to cover.
Oh, I like it. I'm not gonna take it, but I like your enthusiasm for yourself.
So, and this is where you and I will get into an argument, and it'll be like, well, there's Penn State homer versus Ohio State homer, but like genuine question that I'm not trying to stir. Okay.
Go on.
You, in your heart, as a Penn State fan, but as a guy who touted Genty every episode,
Hmm.
believe that that guy can be stopped by that defense.
Oh yeah, because I touted Genty against the Mountain West Conference.
Okay. Okay. So you believe your team will win.
I believe that Penn State will win on both sides of the lines in this one and is going to force Boise State to pass the ball, of which they've only been able to truly do that when the run has helped set it up. I think Penn State holds Ashton Genty. I'm not gonna say under 100 yards because they may give him some garbage snaps later in the game if they are up by two plus touchdowns, like where they, oh, here's a 10 yard gain. I'm not gonna say under 100 yards. I'm going to say that Penn State in the first half of this game holds Ashton Genty under 55 yards.
Wait, say that one more time. Under what? You think they're going to hold
Penn
the
State in the first half holds Ashton Genty under 55 yards. And that's the key
okay.
to the game. Puts Penn State up by two plus touchdowns at the end of the first half. forces Boise State to become more one-dimensional passing, and then Penn State has, I'm not gonna say as much of a field day as they did against SMU, but it becomes sort of that type of game.
Okay.
Alex, thoughts?
I'm with you. I think Penn State wins this convincingly. I don't know that I'm, I'm not gonna put my money down, but I don't hate you for doing it.
Do you know how many yards Judkins and Travion had against Penn State?
Do you know
I'm
the
asking you to do know how many they had.
the caliber of offensive line play is going to be entirely
Absolutely,
different.
I do. But you're talking about an injured Ohio State line that got just so much shit talked about them.
That
They
just
had,
did what? Just did what against the Tennessee top defensive line in the SEC? I don't
that was the third version of that line.
exactly. Even more of a reason that a high quality Tennessee defensive line should have done better, and they did not.
150 yards by
Yes,
Ohio State in rushing.
I, I'm not disagreeing with this, Jim. I told you my thoughts. I think this is
42 by
I
Will
think that
Howard.
I think this is a terrible comparison, is all I'm saying.
192 yards rushing total
Go ahead
by
and
Ohio State.
start putting that offensive line up against Ohio State's defensive line. Put it up against Penn State's defensive line. It's totally different. Look what happened to SMU, who's in a Power Five conference,
You're going to hold the
a
Heisman
Power
Trophy
Four
runner
conference
up, the Heisman Trophy runner up to 55 yards.
in the first half.
All right. All right. I will be riveted to that television.
I said for the first half. You do remember
I
this, right?
cannot wait. Cannot wait.
Okay.
Thank God I can't bet on individual players in Columbus. I would dump oodles of money
On what?
on him over 50 in the first half.
55.
55.
Yeah, over.
Hold on.
I want that to be an issue later on.
Alex, start the next day's games, please.
Okay. And the next day, we have Wednesday. Wednesday games will be Ohio State versus Oregon. Ohio State's favored by 2.5 points, over under at 55.5.
If I had to pick something, I would take the over.
I am taking it.
I
Yeah,
think that's a smart bet.
I'm in agreement with that over. I'm not going to take it. I'm not taking it, but that's where I would lean in this game if I had to do anything.
I think it's a pick 'em. Like I don't know who's going to win that game.
Do you have any thoughts on the game?
Yeah, Jim, what are the keys to
Um,
the game?
I think the safeties and corners are going to get tested like crazy for Ohio State. I think the offensive line has to play like they did against Tennessee. The defense is not going to get away with just rushing four. That's just not going to happen. And the linebackers' heads have got to be on swivels. You're not going to be able to do that shit where, oh, well, we got him on like they did on the Tennessee player where he can just cherry pick four or five off of you and eventually that's all they have. Like Dylan Gabriel's not that kid from Tennessee. And the receivers, like they have more threats. You're gonna actually have to like stick to your assignments and play smart. I mean, Jesus, Dan Lanning is a genius.
And as if they didn't need more different motivation defensively, Penn State's running attack did something to him in the last game, and that's something I think they pride themselves on is being able to neutralize the run game. Um,
I don't know
and
if they have to do that. And I hope Ryan Day doesn't look at the Penn State film and go, oh, back to that. Like, I hope he doesn't do that. I pray.
oh, we did so good against Tennessee doing this. Penn State did so good against Oregon doing this. Let's pound our heads again. Is that
But
what you're?
I pray to God.
If say it's a close game after
Yeah.
the first half, we'll say just
Yeah.
say it's lower scoring. Say it's like 10-10, like somewhere in that range, 13-7, 10-10,
Sure.
and Ohio State and Will Howard has under 120 yards passing in the first half. Are you
Hmm.
just totally cussing out your television saying, "What the fuck?"
It depends on the type of passing. If it's those dink and dunk wide receiver screens, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If it's we're throwing those long routes to Jeremiah and Abuka,
And they're just not hitting at the time.
they're
You're
just
okay
not
with that?
hitting. I'm okay with that.
All right. All right. Ashton Genty over under 130 and a half is the FanDuel line, Jim. So
I think he hits that muff. I'm sorry.
he can hit it all he wants as long as Penn State wins by more than 11.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think it is. So you can, if you don't think it's going to happen, Jim, take Boise State plus the points
I was
then.
just gonna say that. I was gonna, here we go.
Jim,
I am not spite picking you. I did that
you
last
said you
time.
should feel confident.
That's why I've lost my streak. I'm
Is
not
this a
spite
spite
picking
pick
you.
or is this a confident pick?
It's definitely a spite pick. It's
Oh, so you
definitely
don't
in spite
truly
of
feel
you.
this in your heart of hearts.
I don't think what you're saying about their running is true. I absolutely, in my heart of hearts, think you're full of shit. But I'm not going to bet those points just because I'm mad at you.
Well, if you feel that I'm wrong, listen, do what you got to do, buddy.
If I
Uh,
can get to a state where I can bet the players, I absolutely will. I might have to call Muffnack and throw some money down. Muffnack. It might have to happen.
I think Muffnet can do that. Unsure. Haven't looked. Um, not all states have all of these lines. Wednesday nightcap. Tuesday nightcap football. We have Notre Dame taking on Georgia, and Georgia favored by 1.5, over under 44 and a half.
Georgia on QB2 for sure. From what I heard this week.
Yeah, well,
Forever.
Beck already had surgery, so yes.
So I think Notre Dame wins this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm leaning Notre Dame plus the points, but this is just going to be a let's watch it. Let's watch this
Yeah.
game play out.
I
Definitely
can't bet
interested.
on Notre Dame. I'm just not going to do it.
And last for this week, we have a soul game on Thursday. Our next recording will be on Thursday with an episode coming out on Friday for the betting episodes. Thursday matchup, Duke versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 14 and a half, over to 52 and a half. Is your boy playing, Jim?
I don't know. I don't care. Much like Alex, if I'm going out, I'm going out hard. Give me the Ole Miss minus 14 and a half.
There you go.
Jackson Dart is playing. Barton Dart all up that field, I think. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable pick. Nothing for me to say the other way. Although this has nothing to do with this game. Apparently Duke has like money in the portal right now. I think they just offered somebody and somebody accepted like an $8 million 2-year offer from them.
I mean, it's Duke, man.
What's what's old buddy's name? Ken Jong, the guy in the
I,
movies.
I don't know what you're doing right now, but
The actor, doctor.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna tap out right now.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
it's Ken? It's Ken, correct?
I
I
think so,
don't
yeah.
know.
Dr. Ken. Yes, I believe you're correct, Mom. Is it him who put the money in?
I'm just saying, like, there's Ken Jong. Um, I feel like there's that because it's Duke. This is what I'm getting to, Jim. Because it's Duke, I feel like there's a contingent of highly successful people that are
I
willing to
just
put
thought you
money
were
into
throwing out
this.
random Asian
No, no,
names
no,
from Duke, and I was
no,
like,
no.
some doctor from Duke, and you were
This is
trying
the guy
to.
from the
Oh,
hang
he's the
the guy from the
hangover, the guy
Hangover
that
who's a
jumped out
legit
of a trunk.
doctor,
Okay,
legit
I was just like,
doctor,
Muff,
comedian, actor.
we're stepping down a weird rabbit hole with you, bud, and I'm just not here for it.
His name is Ken Jong. I'm just saying. No, Jim.
Next thing you know, North Korea's hacking our shit, and I'm just out. I'm out, Muff.
All right. That brings us into our best bets, starting with Alex, who was first last week.
Alrighty, so I'm
Oh
going
yeah,
to,
go ahead, go that conservative route, you wussy. Give us your 6 games, you big baby.
I will be doing just that. Well, I already won the Baltimore minus 5.5 at Houston this week, and I will go with the Rams minus 6.5 versus Cardinals, BYU plus 3.5 versus Colorado, Lions minus 3.5 at the 49ers, Iowa plus 2.5 versus Missouri, and the Ohio State Oregon over 55
Look
and a
at
half.
Muff also getting scared, getting them cold feet too. You big
In
babies,
defense of Muff, he had said multiple times he had a lot of maybes.
you bunch of babies.
Says the guy who's losing.
I'm only losing by a game or two.
No, there's multiple games in there, Jim. Sorry.
No, I'm saying like percentage wise, it doesn't take much to catch Alex.
Well, Jim, it takes more for you to catch Alex because you have bet not significantly more, but a lot more games than Alex, as have I. So it takes us more wins to improve our percentages versus Alex at the moment.
Bunch of wussies.
It would be math in play. All right. My bets. I have Baltimore -5.5 at Houston, which is already won. I'm gonna take the Rams to cover 6.5, hosting the Cardinals. I'm gonna take the U to cover 3.5 against Iowa State in bowl game action. I'm gonna take Colorado to cover 3.5 versus BYU. I'm gonna take Penn State to cover 10.5 versus Boise State. And I'm gonna do the double dip. I'm gonna take the Lions 49ers over 50.5 and the Lions to cover 3.5 at the 49ers. Jim?
I already took the L for the Toledo game. I got the Seahawks -3.5 at the Bears, who are only winning 6-3 right now. I'm taking Arkansas -1.5 against Texas Tech. I'm taking the over in the Syracuse Washington State game over 59.5. I'm taking Texas A&M -3.5 versus USC. I'm taking the Chargers -4.5 against the Patriots. I'm taking Miami, Florida -3.5 against Iowa State. I'm taking the Lions -3.5 against the 49ers. I'm taking Missouri -2.5 against Iowa. I'm taking Colorado -3.5 against Boise State. I'm taking South Carolina -9.5 against Illinois. And I'm taking Ole Miss -14.5 against Duke. Oh, fuck you guys.
Why why are you angry at us?
I felt right.
Don't make me angry.
It felt right
Mm-hmm.
to be upset with us.
Yep.
Why? Because we didn't bet 30 games.
Hey, if you're going out, you go big.
Well, Alex and I are competing to win, not going out.
When I win it all, you're gonna be like, damn.
Say it was a run. That's what I'm gonna say. It was a run. All right, and the specialty picks starting first with the Mike Allstott hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, 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 pow.
Please
We
pick
like,
from my list.
Is it the
I,
Lions?
I think we take Baltimore.
No, that already happened. We can't do that. The Lions are a common pick.
I I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too.
Lions -3.5 at San Francisco. Next in Midwest Mobster, risky pick of the week.
Get out of here. Can we take what were the Seahawks? No, it wasn't the Seahawks.
You
Seahawks were
can't
favored.
you can't do that anyway. The game's happening right now, Jim.
You're not the boss of us. Me and Alex can gang up on you.
I feel like that's poor form.
We all know you're a wussy. It's okay. You're not gonna go against Muff. We get it.
Oh boy.
Jim, why isn't Boise State on your card?
Why isn't Bama on yours, Muff?
Because I didn't argue for it like you did. You tried to bait me. You actually argued me on a pick. I didn't
You're trying
argue.
to bait me right now.
No, no, no. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
point
yeah,
out point
yeah,
out
yeah,
your
yeah.
confidence.
Trying to bait me right now.
Point
I'm
out your
scared of you, Muff.
confidence.
We have anything besides Alex, who's in direct conflict with me?
And me. Oh, I feel like we need to go to the NFL slate for this. But even then, I don't even know if I feel
Ah,
okay
no.
picking anything in the NFL slate. Uh, Yikes. Vikings.
No.
Don't love it.
Alex, I swear you're coloring every episode now.
I'm not.
You're a liar.
What are you telling? I actually feel like I've been more focused when I'm like I feel like it's got me like focused. Like I'm listening better. I've hit all my pow pow pows. I haven't gotten distracted by anything else because I'm like
Well, then pick us a money line.
I don't
Uh,
really have a whole lot to. We have
we have Notre Dame.
Mm,
Yeah,
but that's there. You're right.
got it. Boston College,
Do it.
I don't think we can go to the light. The light has been
No,
less than
he's retired.
stellar.
all right. Boston College,
I like that.
Titans.
Alex, do you have something to flip over there?
Uh, yeah, I literally have a penny right here.
Flip
That's
it.
What is this between Boston College and Notre Dame?
No,
yes.
Notre Dame should not be an option.
Why?
Alex,
Notre Dame is an option.
Alex, come on, man.
You're the one that said Notre Dame is
I
there.
did not. You did.
You weren't upset about it earlier when you said Notre Dame.
Alex,
When you said Notre Dame's probably going to win, you
I'm
just
gonna
Who
look
couldn't
I
this
pick it.
up. You're just putting words in my mouth.
You just couldn't pick it. That's all you said.
That is true.
So we're gonna let the coin pick it.
Do your dirtiest.
All right. What's heads?
Not Notre Dame.
Okay. Boston College is heads.
Boston College
Like we can
wins.
see this.
Tails.
Oh, Notre Dame it is.
Alex, like, is there
I can't help how the coin flipped.
an honest bone in your body?
No.
Notre Dame money line in college football playoff quarterfinal action, taking on Georgia in the Midwest Mobster Risky Pick of the Week.
Does that even follow the rules? I thought it was had to be more than two.
No, no. It's always been a money line dog, Jim.
All right, whatever.
We need to get into this again.
No, I thought there was actual number of points it had to be by.
No, there's never been.
Listen, we've
A...
got him a long way on this, so I'm just proud of that.
All right. Next in the Sell the Nutting team, Bob Parlay.
Ugh.
Oh, that was unpleasurable for Jim.
Blue. First we have the Lions minus 3.5 at the 49ers, the hit stick pick. Then we will go Jim, me, Alex.
Give me Colorado minus 3.5 versus BYU. That's what you get, Alex.
What a spiteful human being we have amongst us, Alex. What a
Real.
spiteful human being. Give me Penn State to cover 10.5 in the Fiesta Bowl.
And the spite parlay.
Well, I'm going to be reasonable here and say Ohio State, Oregon over 55 and a half.
This thing's gonna hit. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, Alex is the most unspiteful in this situation. But here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. So brings us to the end of this week's episode of Sports Stuff Betting Stuff. As a reminder, you can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Hit the bell on.
Ding ding.
Ding ding. Hopefully it's on the other side of a very successful,
Payday.
not sober New
My
Year's
fault.
Eve.
Missed the cue.
The ball drops, and that
So
brings
do your
you
pants.
A payday.
brings you what, Alex? Wait, what did Alex say?
Said
Brings you
so do
what?
your pants. And then Jim says payday.
And on the other side of New Year's, after all of the college football playoff bowl games go our way, we're gonna have a
Blowjob.
Payday.